Good morning. Today I have discussed entity relationship models. What are the entity relationship model? An entity relationship model, ER model, describe the structure of a database with the help of diagram, which is known as a entity relationship diagram, ER diagram. An ER model is a design or blueprint of database that can later be implemented as a database. The main components of ER model are entity set and relationship set. Entity set or relationship set. ER relationship diagram. ER diagram it is short form. An ER model is a design or a blueprint. It is a design or blueprint of database that can later be implemented as a database. The main components of ER model are entity set and relationship set. Some main features of ER model are as follows. Some features in entity relationship model, and that one we have. First one is the entity relationship model is a high level conceptual data model. Second one is that it allows us to describe the data involved in a real world enterprise in terms of objects and their relationship. It is widely used to develop an initial design of a database. It is widely used to design an initial design of database. It provides a set of useful concepts that makes it convenient for a developers to move from one basic set of information to detailed and precise description of information that can be easily implemented in a database design. It is used to unauthorized information can be easily that you did not understand the first database, then it is converted into easily understand databases. To provide set of useful concept that makes it convenient for a developer to move from the basic set of information to detailed and precise description of information that can easily implement in database system. The last one is to describe data as a collection of entities, relationship and attributes. Relationship and attributes. We have a entity ER model diagram that it can be divided into three parts. That is the entity one, attributes the second one, and the relationship is the third one. In that one, what is the entity? Entity can be given into weak entity and strong entity. Second one is the attributes, that is it can be divided into keys, composite, multi-thread and derived. That is what are the attributes? Key, composite, multi-valued, derived. Then we can go for the relationship, that is a number of relationship are 4, 1 to 1, 1 to many, many to 1 and many to many. These are some diagram of relationship, that is the ER models. They are showing the description of that entities are entity are only one type, that is a weak and strong entity. Second with the attributes, then can be divided into 4 keys, composite, multi-valued and derived. Then relationship we have a 1 to 1, 1 to many, many to many and many to 1. These are some 4 types of attributes. Then you can go for entity relationship model. An entity is an object or a component of data. An entity is represented as a rectangle in an E diagram. For example, in the following ER diagram, we have the two entities. For example, consider as an example, and that one you have a entity diagram. Two entities, student and college, and these two entities how many to one relationship, as many students study in a single college. We'll read more about the relationship later. For that, you have only student is the many and college is the one. The study is the relationship. Weak entity, an entity that cannot be uniquely identify its own attributes and release and their relationship with the other entities called weak entity. It is once again the definition clearly an entity that cannot be uniquely identified by its own attributes. It is not identify its own attributes and release and the relationship with the other entities called as a weak entity. The weak entity is represented by double rectangle. For example, a bank account cannot be uniquely identified without knowing the bank to which the account is belongs to. So, bank account is weak entity. For example, a bank account cannot be uniquely identified by without knowing the bank to which the account belongs to. Bank account is a weak entity. Bank account and bank. Then you can go for the attributes. What are the attributes? Attributes are four types. An attributes describe the property of an entity. An attributes is represented as an oval in ER diagram. There are four types of attributes. First one is the key attribute. Second one is the composite attribute. Third one is the multi-valued attribute. And fourth one is the derived attribute. What is the key attribute? A key attribute can uniquely identify an entity from an entity set. A key attribute can uniquely identify an entity from an entity set. For example, student roll number can uniquely identify a student from a set of students. A key attribute is represented by vowel, same as other attributes. Behavior, the text of key attribute as underlined attribute. Generally, it is a underlined attribute. It is given to some particular understanding purpose. Second one is the composite attribute. An attribute that is a combination of other attribute is known as a composite attribute. For example, in a student entity, the student address is composite attribute, as an address is composed of other attributes such as pin code, state, country, etc. These are composite attributes. For example, you can a student, then given to the address can be divided into pin, state, country, etc. The second one is go to the multi-valued attributes. An attribute that can hold multiple values is known as multi-valued attributes. It is represented with the double ovals in an ER diagram. For example, a person can have more than one phone number, or the phone number attribute is multi-valued. For consider you have another multi-valued attributes. An attribute that can hold multiple values is known as multi-valued attributes. It is represented with the double vowels in the diagram. It is given to double vowels in a diagram. For example, a person can have more than one phone numbers, so that the number attribute is multi-valued. Next one, the derived attributes. A derived attribute is one whose value is dynamic and derived from another attribute. It is represented by dashed vowels in an ER diagram. For example, a person age is derived attribute, as it changes over time and can be derived from another attribute, date of birth. See once again the derived attributes. A derived attribute is one whose values is dynamic and derived from another attribute. It is represented by dashed vowels in an ER diagram. For example, a person age is derived attributes as it changes over time and can be derived from another attribute's date of birth. An ER diagram with multi-valued and derived attributes: student, student phone number, student name, age, date of birth, student ID. Student phone number in multi-valued, student name is this one, age is a dashed line, date of birth is there, student is the key attributes. These are some different versions on that particular attributes. Then we can go for relationship. How many types of relationship we have? A relationship is represented by dynamic shapes and ER diagram. It shows the relationship among entities. There are 4 types of relationships. That one to one, one to many, many to one, many to many relationship. What are the one to one relationship? When a single instance of an entity is associated with a single instance of another entity, then it is called one to one relationship. What is the definition? One to one relationship: when a single instance of an entity is associated with a single instance of another entity, then it is called one to one relationship. For example, a person has only one passport and a passport is given to one person. What are the definition here? Here only every person have a single passport and one passport is given to one person. One passport to one person have only one passport. That is the person has passport. Then you can go for that example and passport. Then you can go for one to many relationship. When a single instance of an entity is associated with more than one instance of another entity, then it is called one to many relationship. For example, a customer can place many orders, but a order cannot be placed by many customers. Second one is a one to many relationship. That one, a single instance of an entity is associated with more than one instance of another entity, then it is called one to many relationship. For example, a customer can place many orders, but a order cannot be placed by many customers. That is the customer placed order. That is the one to many orders. Customer one to many orders. Many to one relationship. What are that one here? Many to one relationship. When more than one instance of an entity is associated with a single instance of another entity, then it is called many to one relationship. For example, many students can study in a single college, but a student cannot be studying in many colleges at the same time. This is the many to one relationship. Many to one relationship. When more than one instance of an entity is associated with a single instance of another entity, then it is called many to one relationship. For example, many students can study in a single college, but a student cannot study in many colleges at the same time. That a student is the many, study, that is the relationship, and college is one. Then we can go for last one, that is the many to many relationship. When more than one instance of an entity is associated with more than one instance of another entity, then it is called many to many relationship. When more than one instance of an entity is associated with more than one instance of another entity, then it is called many to many relationship. For example, A can be assigned to many projects and a projects can be assigned to many students. A can be assigned to many projects and a project can be assigned to many students. That is the student many assigned to many project. This is that final one, that is the many to many. Total participation of an entity set. Here another conclusion of total participation of another topic. That one, a total participation of an entity set represent that each entity in an entity set must have at least one relationship in a relationship. For example, in the below diagram, each college must have at least one associated entity. For that one, you diagram have student ID, student address, student name. That is a student, that is a relationship go to the student in studying. That is the college ID and college name, etc. These are some entity relational sets. That entity relational set. Then here go for a small topic that continues the relational operators. These are some relational operators. We have select. This select operation is used to select some specific records from the database based on some criteria. This is unary operation mathematically denoted by sigma. Syntax: sigma selection condition, that is a relation. The Boolean expression is specified in a select condition, is made of number of clauses of the form. But the syntax of go that attribute name, comparison operator, and customer value, that is a constant value. These are some syntax: attribute name, comparison operator, constant values. We have two types of operations, that is attribute name, comparison operator, constant value, or attribute name, comparison operator, and attributes name. Comparison operators is the set less than or equal, greater than or equal, not equal, equal, less than or greater than, applied to the attributes whose domains are order value like integers. For that one, we can go for an example. Consider the relation a person. If you want to display details of a person having age less than or equal to 30, then the select operation will be used as follows: sigma age less than or equal to 30, that is equal to person. The resultant relation will be as follows: person ID, name, age, address to Sharad Gupta 30, pocket to Mayur Vihar Note. Here is given two conditions. Select operation is commutative, that is sigma condition, open bracket, condition to in a relation equal to sigma condition to open bracket sigma condition of relation. Hence a sequence of the selection can be applied in any order. The second one is the more than one condition can be applied using a Boolean operators, that is and, or, etc. Tomorrow you can continue another topic. Thank you guys.